Welcome to Spagtastic. In this lesson we are going to be learning about statements, questions, exclamations and commands. This is a level 2 skill. There are 4 sentence types we are going to learn about in this lesson. They are statements, questions, exclamations and commands. Each sentence type is structured differently and it has a different job. Let's start by thinking about what is a statement. A statement is the most common sentence type. Statement sentences tell the reader a fact, an idea, or an opinion. They can be very simple sentences or more complex. A statement sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Let's look at some examples of statements. I am going climbing for the first time today. I think I'll have a fantastic time. And London is a city. All of these sentences are examples of statements. They tell us something, they state a fact. As you can see, all of these statements begin with a capital letter and they end with a full stop. Now let's think about what is a question. A question is a sentence type that we ask when we want to find out information. They need a response in order to find the answer. A question begins with a capital letter and ends with a question mark. A question begins with a question word such as who, what, where, when, why or how. Let's look at some examples of questions. How many apples do you need? And what would you like to eat? Are both examples of questions. They require an answer. You can see that both of these questions begin with a capital letter and they end with a question mark. Now we are going to learn about exclamations. An exclamation is a sentence type that expresses a high level of excitement or emotion. An exclamation often begins with the word what or how and ends with an exclamation mark. Let's look at some examples. What an excellent painting and how wonderful it would be to travel on an elephant are both exclamations as they express strong feelings. You will see that both of these sentences begin with a capital letter and they end with an exclamation mark. The final sentence type that we are going to learn about is the command. A command is a type of sentence where someone is given an instruction or is told to do something. Commands tend to begin with imperative verbs. These are bossy verbs that tell someone to do something, such as cut or fold. A command ends with a full stop or an exclamation mark, and they always begin with a capital letter. Let's look at some examples of commands. Crack the eggs into a bowl and stop are both examples of commands as they give a clear instruction. They both begin with imperative verbs, crack and stop. Crack the eggs into a bowl needs to have a full stop at the end of the sentence, and stop needs to have an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. Let's recap on some of the main points from this lesson. There are 4 sentence types: statements, questions, exclamations and commands. Each sentence type is used for a different purpose.